People who haven't experienced a situationship or a friends with benefits just do not understand the very real pain that's involved. I feel like a lot of my friends who are either in a relationship or who are dating, but it never really makes it like super far or super intimate, like they just don't get it. And it's like when you're in a situationship with someone, you are having really intense moments of like chemistry and intimacy over a duration of, weeks, months, however long it lasts.
Gentlemen, welcome back to another video of women regretting hookup culture. So let's start with this one. Let's give that one more listen and we'll analyze it together, guys.
People who haven't experienced a situationship or a friends with benefits just do not understand the very real pain that's involved.
What people? You mean the ones who make the decision to not be part of hookup culture? You know, she sort of mentions it like, I know she stepped on a mine, and she's like, people who haven't had this bad luck don't know what the pain is. No, you're talking about the people who make the decision to not be part of it, because they are looking for something more than just that spike of emotions. But anyway, let's continue.
I feel like a lot of my friends who are either in a relationship or who are dating, but it never really makes it like super far or super intimate, like they just don't get it. And it's like when you're in a situationship with someone, you are having really intense moments of like chemistry and intimacy over a duration of, weeks, months.
Yeah, in other words, those strong emotions that you say are what women like to refer as the butterflies, right? That thing that they don't get from normal, average guys who focus on having a family and having a stable relationship. The boring stuff, the butterflies, gentlemen. Do you know that? Short-lived but really strong emotion and chemistry or whatever. The reason why you call it chemistry is because the guys you're having situationships with are a much higher league than you are, and that is why there is chemistry, and that is why those are the guys who you're having a situationship with, because you wouldn't have a situationship with a man who you deem below you or on the same level as you. You see, women date the top percentage of men, and they feel chemistry with them. There's no chemistry there, gentlemen. It's the same, two guys want to hook up. One is a 6 out of 10, another is an 8 out of 10. It's the same guy, it's the same treatment, it's the same behavior. Everything is the same, but the perception that these women have of them, when they hook up with the 8 out of 10, there is chemistry, the vibe, the energy he has, etc. But the same guy who's a 6 out of 10 and wants to hook up with them, he's just not my type. It's all in their head.
However long it lasts. And there's so much limerence, and the entire thing is basically built on a fantasy. And you can tell yourself the whole time, like, this is a fantasy, this isn't real. I really am not that close to this person, I don't know them. But
yeah, really interesting how they realize that. Yet when the situationship doesn't escalate into a relationship, they somehow always blame the guy for being a boy, being immature, not knowing what he wants, etc. Kind of ironic, if you ask me.
It still doesn't take away from the very real moments that you actually are sharing with that person. And like when you have that undeniable chemistry, it's a very it's undeniable. Like there's nothing else. There's no other way to describe it. And so
No, you are delusional. Like with the same breath, she says that she knows and she realizes it's a fantasy, yet at the same time, it's like really real, you know? Make it make sense, gentlemen. It's not real, it's all in your head. The guy probably doesn't even know your name. He has many other options, and that is why you like him, because he has more options. Because, you know, he's not the lowest hanging fruit, because he's that shiny fruit on top of the tree that you want, because you want superficial things and you're stupid, you know? It's all in your head. It's all a castle in the sand. It's all made up. You know, we have this phenomena of women not wanting to go for anything serious and just wanting to date the top percentage of men. And guys, notice how suddenly the term situationship has crawled upon the dating world. Like, I remember back in the day, I used to watch Taylor, you know, and he, you know, I suddenly saw these TikToks of situationships, and I was like, what the heck is that, man? Situationship? And now I'm doing the same content, and every second video we have a woman talking about a situationship. Women have fully embraced the term, and they like it because it perfectly describes their dating story. Some women, they never grow out of a situationship. They never have a relationship with a man because, first off, they don't know how to keep it. Second off, they're just not aiming at that. They don't want relationships. They just want situationships because it brings the butterflies. It's just, what a bad time to want a family, guys. What a bad time to be alive if you want to have marriage. But if you don't want to date women, it's a good time. You know, you see them crying, you see them whining. We're out here, the boys, you know, having fun, learning from these individuals. But let's continue, guys.
so a situationship often ends just like abruptly. It's not a relationship where it builds, it's great, it's great, it's great, and then it slowly gets worse. You try to work through it, it doesn't really work, so you break up. It's like a situationship, like it's amazing right away, and then it ends abruptly. So you never really get the like cool down period.
Gentlemen, I'm going to pause it for a moment to think a little bit of the past. You know, I like to be reminiscent of the past, the good old days when women actually devoted to their relationships. So this thing that she says, you know, the spikes up and down, people back in the day, when they had relationships and when they came to the conclusion that they want to marry, you know, we have that graphic of, you know, it's ups and downs, ups and downs. But no matter how down it gets, or no matter how long the period of ups is before the down, women and men always try to make it work. So in a marriage in the past, when women didn't divorce so much, yeah, it was up and down, but people were able to work through it. You know, people were able to have their kids experience what it means to have a father and a mother throughout their life. Just people were able to make it work. Nowadays, we have women initiating 80% of the divorces. And what is the percentage of divorces? Like 60%, or I can't quite remember, guys. I'm making the number up. But you know, the thing is, this woman mentioned, it's not like a relationship where it goes up and it goes down and you can't fix it and so you break it. Right? Is the mentality that women have of the moment it starts to go down, I'll try and make it work for, I don't know, 2 weeks. And if it doesn't solve itself, I'm just out of there. You can clearly see the mentality that women have. They're no longer trying, gentlemen. They're not in it for the ride or die situation. They're not in it to make compromises, to give it their all. They adopt this mentality of, you know, love has to be easy. If it costs me something, if it has to be hard for me, then I don't want it, because I could have any other guy, you know, and let's see if the next guy is a non-stop upwards path towards perfection. Stupidity, man. But let's continue, gentlemen. Sorry for the rant.
You just get these, like, it just ends abruptly, and then you're kind of stuck with all these emotions. And they are fleeting, they are short lived, they are super intense, and they're like very, very real. And I just feel like, yeah, it sucks that people who are in relationships or who haven't experienced, like they kind of are like dismissive about the pain, and just like how real and like beautiful and heartbreaking and sad a situationship could be.
Guys, beautiful, she says. We have this woman right here, reminiscent of the last chat that pumped her, and she's out here just, oh, the emotions I have are so strong, just write a poem or something, you're artistically empowered right now. And the guy, the guy that spread your legs, he probably doesn't even remember you. He can't recall you. He doesn't know your name, right? When men are in situationships, they know what they want. They want to hook up. That's it. And when they get it, they're happy. Women, when they are in situationships, they always want more. Why? Because they have a situationship only with the top percentage of guys. And so they always want to secure them. They want to grab them. They want to keep them for themselves. But chads, never succumb. They never commit because they have better options. You are an option, probably option E for that chad. He will never commit to you. And that is why women in situationships, they always end up wanting more. I've never heard of a TikTok of a man saying, that situationship, I wish it lasted more. No, men go for what they want, they get it, and when they get tired, screw you. Because that's what a hookup is, right? And so we have all these women here. You hear them so often, guys, on these episodes of Regretting Hookup Culture, where, they just really want to secure that char, but they never do. And still they try. That's the best part of it, The definition of insanity, gentlemen. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting things to change.
I did have a conversation to end it, and it took me a lot of courage to do it, and I knew I wanted to do it on a date because I knew I didn't want to have a phone call, I didn't want to text, I didn't want to just like meet up. And to people who want to do it those ways, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just not what I wanted to do. And I also wanted to see him again. We went on great dates, we had a great time together. I wanted like one more like good fun evening. And he suggested in the middle of the date like that he should stay at my place that night, and I was like, I don't think I can do that tonight, sorry. And then we got to my place at the end of the date, which was a really wonderful date, and I kept having to go to the bathroom in the middle of it to like work myself back up to knowing that I needed to end things. He always walked me to the door, and when sorry for the noise, I'm at a gas station, and when he was about to get out of the car, when he was dropping me off, I was like, no, we need to have a talk. And I basically just said, I think this is the last time we're going to see each other. I can't keep managing my emotions around you and not knowing where you stand, and it's clear that we're just not on the same page at this point. And as much as I wish that wasn't the case, it is. And so I think that we just have to like go our separate ways. And he was really kind. He was like, I hear you, and I think that's fair. He was like, I would never want you to wait on me. And I said, the thing is like, I would have waited, which maybe is like, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't feel that way, but I did. I was like, I would have waited, but I don't want to wait while you're like interested in seeing other people or hooking up with other people. Like, I don't want to be an option. And he was like, that's totally fair. And he's like, not ready to give that up. So I basically, we had this brief conversation, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. He said, I don't know why. He said, I like you so much. Maybe it's just because I'm not like ready to not be selfish. And he was like, but I know this hasn't been fair to you, and I've thought about doing this myself, but I didn't want to lose you, which is exactly what happens in situationships. It's not.
Yeah, he just wanted a last moment of fun. It's so easy to manipulate women. It really is. You can tell them the same stories. You can write a script and just read it, and they always fall for it. Oh, I really like you very much, but not enough to not keep you as an option, of course. Guys, you can really see the type of men that these women are dating. Because most of the guys just ask 10 people on the street, would you date this woman? And 9 out of them would commit to her, if they wanted a relationship with her. Most men, they get into relationships and they want to keep them. Most men don't have many options. They don't want to have many options. They just want to have a normal girlfriend that will eventually lead into a wife, normal life, etc. But no, You know, those guys are the boring ones. She wants the guy who has many options because he's a top 5% of men. He's probably you know, has a high income. He's probably jacked. He's probably attractive. You know, good jawline, tall, etc. These are the men, gentlemen, that women are dating. Are they top 5% of women? Absolutely not. They are as average as you can get. But of course, they feel entitled. And Chad doesn't mind because he gets a free hookup.
Not that the other person isn't like, doesn't enjoy us or doesn't like us. It's just like, they might just not be ready for a relationship. They don't want a relationship. And we're just not on the same page in terms of like long-term goals. At least not right now. So
I just love the way she says, we're not on the same page. I want a long-term goal, but yada yada. What do you mean? If you wanted a long-term, if you had a long-term goal where you want a family, etc., you wouldn't be having a situationship with some Chad. Be clear about it, woman. Say, you know, reality for what it is. Don't try to fool us. Don't come with this bullcrap of, I want something serious, but this guy didn't want it because he's still a boy. He still wants his fun. Damn it, you're dating the guys who have 1,000 options. They're not gonna commit to you, damn it. Like, there are 1,000 men in your area that you could date, that will stick with you, that will wife you up, that will impregnate you 4 times. You know, you will have a family, you will die together holding your hands, but you don't want those guys. Be clear about it. Man, I'm getting tired of these women always gaslighting, always, you know, trying to manipulate us and lie to us. No, you are dating the unavailable man that will never commit. You don't want a long-term relationship. You don't want it. If you had it, you will cheat, you will ghost, you will say that you have irreconcilable differences, you will flee the scene because you don't want it. You want to be shaken up by Chad. And if there is some Chad that makes the bad decision to commit to you, if he committed, you can bet that this woman will be out the door in a few months. Because the moment the Chad commits, he loses his charm. He loses the very thing that attracted this woman to him. Now let's continue.
So he walked me to the door. He said some nice things. He kissed my forehead and we went our separate ways. And it was really hard and I cried all night and I cried for days. And it was actually truly like one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I felt so empowered and really proud of myself afterwards, because to do that and to choose self-love for the first time ever over love of another was just, I felt like it was so good.
Damn, this one is stupid. The love of another, she says, for the Chad that was pumping many women at a time. Yeah, if that's not love, I don't know what is. But again, guys, I must admit, it surprised me that there is actually a woman that turned down on Chad instead of the other way around. I'm actually surprised. Will I call you brave and empowered? No, you're still incredibly stupid for thinking that there's any commitment with Chad. But still, you are less delusional than other women. But we'll end the video right there on that thought, gentlemen. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.